Hey everybody, welcome to the Grumpy and Shadow Show.
I'm Grumpy,
And I'm Shadow.
and today we're going to talk about the WWE Clash of Champions results. So let's get to it.
Alright, so let's get started with the kickoff show. First match on the card was Nia Jax and Alicia Fox.
Well, we knew that was going to be a squash, but Alicia Fox did get her rearing a little bit, got her off her feet, did come to a close 3-pin, a 1-2. Nia Jax did come the victor with the Samoan drop.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Alicia Fox, I mean, yeah, she got a few licks in and had the false finish with the 2 count, but it was basically a one-sided match.
I would say it was, yes.
And that's pretty impressive for Nia Jax. I mean, Alicia Fox was her first real opponent on the Raw roster, and she did an amazing job.
Nia Jax seems like a veteran already, but actually she's one of the least experienced of the Diva wrestlers. She got a scholarship in basketball. She was a successful model. And it almost ended her career when she was hit by a drunk driver.
Yeah. Wasn't that just right at the beginning of her career?
It was the beginning of her career. She's only been in WWE for about 2 years, but she started with the NXT. And 10 months later, she went to the WWE, the big boys.
Right. Yeah, I mean, she has come an incredible way. I mean, granted, she has that innate ability from the Anoa'i family.
Yeah, right. And she has still a long ways to go. She has some inexperience, but I think as time goes on, she'll get much better.
I have no doubt I expect to see big things in the future for her. And so the next important match of the evening, Jericho versus Sami Zayn. Now, wait a minute. I thought for sure Sami Zayn was going to take this. I really did. I thought that Jericho was going to put him over in a way that made them both look good, and I was wrong.
That was a good match. They both, it was a close match with both of them. It was pretty well even, but at the end, Jericho got the cold breaker into Sami, and
but the thing that got me was that it was a clean win. I mean, it wasn't, there were no underhanded tactics, no interference. Jericho won it straight up.
He won straight up, and
which you don't see from Jericho a lot these days. He's always got something up his sleeve, or he's always got Kevin Owens in the wing. Something. You never see him come out with the clean win. And this was, I mean, yes, it made them both look good, even though Zayn lost. But what impressed me even more is that Jericho still has the ability to come off with a clean win and make it look legit.
Right.
And my hat's off to Jericho. I just wish that Sami Zayn had gotten the push, but that may be coming, in the near future, because he is a former NXT champion, and he has a hell of a lot of potential in him right now. And I'd really, really, really want to see, how far they will push him, because I personally think that he can be a holder of the Universal Championship. That's my personal opinion. Cesaro and Sheamus, what a mess that was.
Neither one of us predicted this, but they ended up being, they were going back and forth. They ended up being a no draw. They were both, and ended up outside the ring. The officials decided that neither one could continue, and it was a draw.
Well, now, that's the funny thing. The officials said, oh, no, they're both too injured to continue, but nobody threw up the X, which tells you that that's all bullshit.
and Cesaro did go back into the ring and says, come on. So he was good enough to do that, but
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with this whole thing. Why they would pull the seventh match as a no contest? It, because the next big pay per view is, if I remember correctly, Survivor Series.
No, there's one before that. Oh, the big one, yeah, Survivor Series. That's right.
So, what are they holding off on? I mean, are they going to finish this thing on Raw? That would make no sense. You pull everybody in for a major pay per view and say, "Aha, we're not going to give you the finish.
It seems like we're
going to give it to everyone for free."
It seems like they're pushing them to be tag team partners now.
Well, see, that's the other thing. A lot of speculation is that they are going to be tag team partners and may even be around to give the New Day a run for their money. Now, that would mean that either Cesaro needs to turn heel or Sheamus needs to turn face. And if they turn face and they're both, if they're both good guys, I can't see them really having a big program with the New Day. It would have to be a program with maybe the Club or one of those, lesser tag teams. I mean, since we know that the Dudley Boys are out of it now, and most of the major tag teams have moved over to SmackDown. It's limited as to who they can have a good program with. That's my thinking. Charlotte and Bayley and Sasha Banks triple threat match for the women's title.
I predicted that one. I knew. I had a feeling that Charlotte was going to retain her championship, but Dana Brooks did interfere several times into that match.
Now,
but at the end, Charlotte pinned.
Now, I had that backwards. I had said that Charlotte was going to pin. No, Sasha was going to pin Charlotte, or Charlotte was going to pin Sasha. And then Bayley was going to step in and say, "But you didn't pin me, so I get a shot." Instead, Charlotte pinned Bayley, and now Sasha's stepping in and going, "But you didn't pin me, I get a shot."
I believe it was Sasha coming back into the ring. Charlotte swung Bayley into the ropes. They hit. And then, it was all over.
I would like to see this program end with Charlotte and Sasha. Whether Sasha ends up with the belt, I'd like to see a nice program, a nice set of matches between her and Bayley. I know I'm 100% positive that the two of them together could put on a really good show and can hit a lot of really good spots.
Well, Bill and Sasha did put on a really good show in NXT.
Yeah, and I think that the caliber show that they could really grab the audience in the WWE universe.
I believe that was one of the best matches of entertainment that the women have had in the NXT. Sasha Banks versus Bayley.
Now, I think that if Sasha and Bayley start a program, the next program that Charlotte should start should be with Nia Jax. The undefeated against the women's champion. That would be a really good spot. TJ Perkins and Brian Kendrick, the Brian Kendrick.
Well, TJ Perkins ended up victorious. He retained his title with a knee bar. It was a very good match, back and forth. Brian Kendrick is the aggressor. At the end, when they were going to shake hands, Brian Kendrick gave T.J. Perkins a face butt. So I think they're going to start a feud with them too.
Well, I mean, Kendrick, I can understand his frustration. He's been in the business for decades, for over a decade. And Perkins just started with WWE, coming from Ring of Honor and TNA and places like that, where he actually won the TNA X Division Championship. So it's not like he's just a Johnny come lately. He's put in his time too, but nowhere near the amount of work that Kendrick has put in. And I can sense a small amount of animosity, although there is a great amount of respect between the two of them. It just doesn't carry out into the ring. It's the way they're written, the way they're supposed to be, and it's a believable angle. And I just don't know how long they're going to keep this cruiserweight division going. I mean, they've had different titles before, and they last a few years and they fizzle out. The European title, the hardcore title, things that, titles that could have been around for a long time, and they just die.
I think the cruiserweight or lightweight, whatever they called it then, when Jamie Noble had it, and it was a little popular back then it just faded out again.
Yeah, I'm not getting my hopes up for this whole cruiserweight division thing. I mean, if they can keep it around for a while, maybe, but their track record isn't great with it's not even a second tier title; it's a third tier title. And for the third tier title, they're really not that good with them. I personally think that the European title and titles such as that. I was a big fan of the hardcore 24-hour rule. No matter where you were, what you were doing, as long as somebody had a rep with them, they could fight you. So if you were in your hotel room, if you were in a bar, if you were in a restaurant, if you were out with your kids at the movies, anyone could jump on you, pin you, have a referee count, and they walk away with the title.
I guess they'll keep it if they show if the fans show interest. If not, they'll fade away.
New Day versus the Club, Anderson and Gallows.
Well, New Day retained the title. Of course, the trombone came in play, and
whenever Xavier Woods is at ringside, you know that something's gonna pop off. It's his job. He does it for some reason. He's not actively wrestling on a regular basis, but he is actively interfering on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And that trombone itself is annoying, let alone, it being used as a weapon. Now everyone says, well, if you use it as a weapon, where was the referee? Why didn't the referee catch that? Well, Xavier Woods is a sneaky little bastard. That's pretty much how that goes. Now, he clocked Anderson good with that trombone, too. Which was not what made them win. They didn't win by DQ. After Xavier Woods hit Anderson with the trombone, I believe it was Big E.
The Big E gave him the finishing move with Kingston on top of the ring, and then they kind of double teamed them. And then the 1, 2, 3. That was it.
Now, as far as I know, the Club got a rematch on Raw the next night.
And they lost again.
And again they lost. Which brings us to our next match. Reigns versus Rusev.
You know what? I'm glad Reigns got it. I know a lot of people don't like Reigns. I like Reigns. I did predict that Rusev would retain the title. And I'm glad I was wrong.
Now, I said Reigns would win. But I'm not happy with it. I mean, I am and I'm not, because now he's the United States champion. Which means that if Rollins wins the Universal Champion, 2 of the Shield members on the same show will be holding titles. Now, what I want to say, which is what I wanted to say about this whole Roman Reigns thing, is Reigns beat Rusev with the spear. Well, yeah, that's what they call it now. They call it all sorts of shit. He beat him with the spear, and then they went on Raw again to have another rematch, just like the New Day did, and just like the New Day, Reigns retained the title. So, in my opinion, if they keep doing this stuff, might as well just skip the pay-per-view altogether and watch Raw. I mean, they're having the they had the New Day match the next day. They had the Roman Reigns rematch the next day. Well, why put free matches on that are going to end the same way? If people are going to pay for a pay-per-view, and the very next day they're going to put the exact same match on public television. To me, that's a big mistake. Speaking of mistakes, I made a mistake on this last match. Owens versus Rollins for the Universal title.
Well, Owens did win it. He retained his title, but Chris Jericho did interfere a little bit. I kind of thought Rollins was not going to get it at that time. I think in the future he will, but not at the particular PPV.
Well, see, here's my thing. We speculated that Triple H would somehow get involved, and he didn't. And we speculated that Roman Reigns would somehow get involved, and he didn't.
But Chris Jericho get involved.
Never expected Jericho to get involved in the title match, especially since he had already won his match and everything was good.
Well, they're best friends.
Oh God. Jericho is a professional. So is Kevin Owens. I mean, Kevin Owens has the record, I believe, for holding the title in the in one of the independent federations, a total of 3 times, which is more than anyone has ever held it. I believe it was the XPW, and yeah, so Owens and Rollins actually held the Ring of Honor. Oh no, the NXT Championship. And Owens, believe it or not, is one of only 4 people in the history of the WWE to hold both the Ring of Honor and the WWE Championship. Can you guess who at least 2 of the other ones are? Yes, you are correct. It was CM Punk and Daniel Bryan. They both held the Ring of Honor Championship, and they both held the WWE Championship. Now, with that said, Rollins lost, and if I remember correctly, he is now demanding a rematch. Although, for some reason, they're playing it off like he's injured and can't jump back into the ring.
Yeah, they didn't put that on Raw.
Yeah. But they did put him interfering in the highlight reel with Jericho and Owens.
Right.
Now, where they're going to go with that, like I said, I'd like to see Rollins win the Universal title and team up with Roman Reigns.
I think if Rollins changed face, I think he'd become really popular. I think he'd be a real popular superstar, in my opinion.
Well, I have a feeling because of all this, he is changing face. I mean, he's got the problems with Triple H. He's got Kevin Owens and Jericho to contend with.
I mean, it's going to be a slow process. It's not going to be overnight.
No, I have a feeling it's going to be. They're going to push it real fast. I have a feeling that.
Yeah, but if you remember back then, before he got injured, they were kind of pushing it because.
Yeah, but if you remember, his heel turn was instant. 1 minute he's a face, next minute he's beating Roman Reigns with a chair.
But this is a little bit slower process, I think.
And I have a feeling that now that he's been put up against the wall, so to speak, and that Triple H has basically made it known that no matter what, he's not going to let him win the title.
Unless there's some kind of interference where he's getting beat up by a couple guys, and then Roman Reigns or Dean Ambrose comes and helps him, and then he's going to realize they're his friends.
Well, I think it's going to go the other way. I think what's going to happen is,
You think Rollins will help?
I think Rollins is going to jump in a situation involving Reigns. Or Reigns is going to be put on the spot where he needs a tag team partner, and the only one he can find is Rollins. And at that point, I think that's going to be the conclusion of his face turn, and may even be the start of a new Shield.
But one way or the other, you feel that Rollins and Roman Reigns will get together.
Oh, yeah. There's no doubt about it. It's just a matter of when. Just a matter of when. And with that, I have one last piece of information. On Raw, after the taping, Stephanie was leaving. I don't know if many of you caught this, but as she was heading to her car, she was kind of stopped by Triple H, who said, "Did it work out okay?" And she said everything was fine. Now, is Stephanie in cahoots with Triple H? Is Triple H and Stephanie trying to still weasel in on that authority, angle? Are they still trying to undermine everything? Or is this just a casual conversation between a husband and wife? That's something that we can speculate and talk about and mull over for weeks. But right now, I'd like to find out what you think about the whole Triple H situation, especially the Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins connection. And where do you think Sami Zayn is going to go from here now that he's lost to Jericho? So if you want to leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below, we can start a really meaningful conversation. And with that, I'd like to say thank you and good night.
Thanks for watching.